All right, a big card this weekend. We got UFC 308. The UFC really needs a big pay-per-view because they have been really bad recently. Alex Pereira saved the last card, and before that, it was a snooze fest. So we really need this one to be a banger, in my opinion. Now, I'm only going to be predicting 4 fights because I'm fairly still a casual to the sport. I know I might get some people in my comments saying, why didn't you cover this fight, you casual? I mean, yeah, I'm trying to get into seeing all these fighters now that I'm covering the sport, but it's gonna take some time. All right, the first fight I'm gonna be talking about is Magomedov versus Petrosian or something like that. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing the name right. I'm not the greatest at that. Shara is looking to be a great star, not only because of his crazy look. One of his eyes is all to the side and a different color and all crazy, but he's also somebody from Dagestan that isn't a full wrestle merchant. Like, he can actually strike, he has nice kicks, and he's a great kickboxer overall. So this could be the crossbreeding of the Dagestanis that could eventually save the sport, but still pretty grapple heavy, so we'll see. Now, I know that some people are saying that Shara is a bit mid all around, but Petrosian is coming off a submission loss, so he's not necessarily the greatest either. I look at this fight as a building fight for Shara. I don't see him losing. Do I see him getting Armin out of there? Maybe. It would be a great thing for his star image. If he could get a finish, it would be huge. It would bring him to the next level for sure. So I'm gonna say that he gets a TKO in the third round. Say that he lands a good shot to the body that hurts him, and then he lands a follow-up strike, falls to the ground and pound. The ref steps in. I'm going to say Shara Magomedov wins by TKO in the third round. Now, I am going to glance over the Dan Ige fight because, to be honest, I don't know enough about the two fighters to make a full prediction. I could just wing it and then end up being wrong, but I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to act like I know what I'm talking about on this channel. I'm going to give my honest assessment for what I know. I know that Dan Ige is Mr. Short Notice. He's a legend with that. We actually get to see him with a full training camp. And I don't know much about the other guy. I heard that he is very technical, and Dan Ige seems to do better against more wild fighters. So we'll see. Dan Ige might end up getting outclassed, but I don't know for sure. So I'm not going to call it. All right, next fight. Magomed Ankalaev versus Alexander Rakic. Now, this is a banger fight on paper, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. Like a few of these fights on the card, there is room for it to get ruined. I could see Alexander Rakic having some success on the feet early, and then we see the inner Dagestani Ankalaev kneeing him against the cage the whole fight. I have a very bad feeling that that's where the fight is going. I definitely favor Rakic on the feet. I think he's a lot faster. Obviously, he was beating Yuri until Yuri had an amazing warrior comeback in their fight. Good leg kicks. I know Ankalaev has some good boxing, but I don't see him relying on a stand-up. I see him mainly grappling in this fight, and I think that's where it's end up going to be going. I think Rakic is going to get the better of him on the feet, and then he's going to say, fuck all this, Dagestani roots. Cage grabbing, well, not cage grabbing, but cage pinning, kneeing galore, and it's going to be a decision win by Ankalaev. I don't want this to be what happens, but I have a bad feeling that this is going to happen. And based on how the sport has been going recently, the lack of separation from the refs, I see Ankalaev absolutely just dominating Rakic against the cage and winning by decision. Next fight, we got Bobby Nux versus Khamzat Chimaev. Now, Khamzat missed weight. They gave him extra time, and it still was a bit suspect if he made weight or not. I really don't want to keep seeing these Abu Dhabi weight controversies. Obviously, what happened with Khabib a couple of years ago. Yet, this happened to Charles, and they took Charles' title away. Just bullshit. I don't like seeing this. Obviously, we just want to see this fight at this point. We just want to see Khamzat in the octagon, so I'm not furious about it. But if Khamzat ends up winning, it is going to seem a bit unfair to Robbie. Obviously, everybody loves Whitaker. But, we don't really know how this is going to go. I do have a feeling in my stomach that this may correlate to Khamzat not having the best gas tank in this fight. As we know, Khamzat loves to start off fast in his fights. in the beginning. I forgot which fight it was, but he literally picked up somebody and like in the first 5 seconds and started talking to Dana White. Excuse me. Kamzat loves to start fast. And if Whitaker's wrestling is underrated, if he's able to stuff some takedowns, circle around the ring, and outstrike Kamzat, there's a real chance that Kamzat's going to gas out in their fight. And do I see that happening? Because I'm going to be honest with you guys. I feel like the sport's getting a little predictable. Whenever I see a Dagestani or Russian or whatever, Georgian, that knows how to wrestle like that, I just feel like they win because it's such a well, not unfair because MMA, but such a dominant style, boring style that I don't think they could turn it down, especially in a fight like Robert Whitaker. I could see Chimaev basically shooting early on, maybe 20 seconds into the fight. Whether he gets it or not is going to indicate the fight. If Kamzat gets him on the ground, I don't see Whitaker being able to get up. But Whitaker may have good enough takedown defense to be able to get out of there in a circle and continue to outstrike Chimaev. Obviously, Chimaev has some striking. Obviously, he has some power. He blitzes in. He says, fuck it a lot. And obviously, Robert Whitaker seems to struggle against high-pressure fighters sometimes. And he chokes in these title eliminator fights. Well, this could be a title eliminator fight. We'll see. It seems like Sean Strickland's getting a rematch with Dricus, so we'll see how that works. But I don't see the same energy from Chimaev, if I'm being honest. Obviously, he had a rough weight cut. It didn't even seem like he made the weight. We'll see how much of a controversial decision that ends up being if Robbie ends up losing. But I think Robert gets him out in the 4th round. I see Chimaev gassing out in like the 2nd or 3rd round because of the circumstances. He already has that. He already seems to have that problem in general. So yeah, I think Robert Whitaker will start piecing him up, and I think he's gonna drop Chimaev at one point, and he's gonna finish him TKO in the 4th round. I think Chimaev's gonna gas out, and that's gonna lose him the fight. If we get a very healthy version of Chimaev, and he actually is full of energy, I do think he wins by decision, maybe even stoppage by ground and pound. But I'm gonna take Robert Whitaker by TKO in the 4th round. All right, now in the main event, Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway. Now, before I get to what I actually think happens in this fight, when I say this event has the potential to be disappointing because of grappling, this might be the main fight that ruins it. Now, I hope not. There's a real chance it's just a straight war on the feet. They straight bang it out, but I don't know. People forget about Ilia's ground game, man. There's a real chance that we get Rakic versus Ankalaev. Ankalaev has Rakic against the cage the whole time. We get Robert Whitaker versus Chimaev, and Chimaev has Whitaker against the cage the whole time. Then you guessed it, Ilia Topuria holding Max Holloway against the cage and grappling him the whole fight. Now, I don't think this is going to happen, but there is a real chance because let's say Max Holloway starts the fight hot, right? Like lands some good shots on Ilia. Ilya's really struggling getting on the inside of Max Holloway in his long combination punches. Obviously, Ilia wants to get inside and land his hook and straight punches, but obviously, I think Ilia has the movement to get inside. He could struggle with it. He could end up being amazing with it. We don't really know until the fight happens. And I know there's going to be fans in here. It's like, oh, you're going to complain because there's some grappling in MMA? This is supposed to be the most exciting fight of the year. So yes, if Ilia goes out there and shoots takedown, I'm going to be mad. As a fan of the sport, not a wannabe hardcore fan that needs to find every single thing about the sport entertaining. If Ilia shoots, it's going to be fucking gay. Oh, I can't say that. Actually, can I say that? It's okay to be gay, by the way. YouTube, it's okay to be gay, okay? Before I say anything. I don't really feel like cutting this 40 seconds into me talking, so nothing wrong with it, but Ilia Topuria may be on that side of the spectrum if he shoots a takedown in this fight. But that's not going to be my prediction. I'm literally praying, please, Ilia Topuria. Please, Ilia Topuria, please. Oh, just imagine, MMA Guru brought this up, by the way, shout out MMA Guru. Imagine if Max does a thing where he points in the middle of the center and then Ilia just shoots a takedown. Oh my god, he would be the biggest villain in MMA. Obviously, he's trying to play the heel, Ilya Taporia, but he wouldn't be needing to play the heel if he grapples in this fight. He would just simply be the heel. He would just be the bad guy, and I'll be one of them hating. But my prediction isn't this. I think it will be a stand-up war. I think it'll be entertaining. And I actually do pick Ilya Taporia to win. And to be honest, even by stoppage. People forget that Max Holloway, yes, he has a good chin, but he hasn't been indestructible. Like, he struggled in some fights and won in the end because, of course, he's a tough fighter and he's just like that. But Ilya said it himself. He hasn't fought Ilya Taporia yet. Ilya Taporia is the best boxer in the UFC by far. If you look at his training footage, it actually looks like a pro boxer. And actually, I've seen a combination that he was doing a lot where he did a step-in 1-2 with like a nasty straight right behind it. I see that being the combination that drops Max Holloway. I see Ilya Taporia stepping into a 1-2 and it puts Max on his ass. I said TKO too many times in this fight. So I'm going to say Ilya Taporia drops Max with that 1-2. Maybe gets a TKO right there. I say Max gets right back up and Ilya catches him with a hook on the way up. And unfortunately, because I love Max Holloway, I think Ilya Taporia knocks out Max Holloway in the 4th round. I see it happening. And some people forget, like, Max is wild, but he's wild at the smart times. Like, if Ilya, like, I don't think a first round finish is going to happen. Like, Max is not going to go first 5 seconds of the fight point in the middle of the ring. Like, it's just not going to happen. Max does it when he's up in the fight and he thinks he could put the person away. And the person on the other side is already pretty beaten up when he does it. So I don't see there being a first round finish. I know, like, on paper, because their striking ability, they could either of them could get a first round finish. But I don't think either of them are going to be extremely wild and irresponsible in a title fight. I just don't think that's going to be the case. It could be even, like, a considered boring first round. Like, that's one thing, like, people, like, sure, people hating on grappling being boring is, like, for sure, like, it makes sense. But people complaining about the first round of, like, boxing or MMA being boring because they're trying to figure out each other's, like, timing and distance, that's not boring. That's, like, if you really care about striking, you, like, can kind of see what they're trying to set up, and I find that interesting. But I can see the first round being like that, them feeling each other out, not much being thrown. I could be wrong. Maybe they go in and irresponsibly just scrap. I hope so, because I'm making content and filming my reaction. That would be the best ideal situation if I could get, like, a knockout reaction, like a crazy knockout that goes viral. I post it right after the fight. I get to 1,000 views for the first time. I like this idea. Maybe I switch my pick. But no. I don't think it's going to be done in the first round. I think Ilya knocks out Max in the 4th round with a hook off of Max getting up from a straight a 1-2 combo, gets up, gets right in, runs right into a hook. Straight hook. First person to knock out Max plus Holloway, Ilya Taporia. Ilya Taporia becomes a superstar just like that. Right when the sport needs a fighter that will stand up and strike in a war as a champion, Ilya Taporia is going to be the hero. Or he becomes the villain and shoots. I say there is just as good as a chance that Ilya becomes a villain in this fight as he becomes a hero. Because I know he likes to play the heel, but if he knocks out Max Holloway, he's going to get a lot of fans. Like, he's not going to be the heel anymore after that. So, yeah, I think Ilya gets it done in round 4 and is still champion. Obviously, it will be very sad for Max Holloway and Max Holloway fans. It might be his last shot in general. He might move divisions or something. Maybe. I don't know. I definitely would like to see Max get a great fight after this if he does lose. I don't want it to seem like I want Max to lose. If I'm being honest, I probably prefer Max to win just because he's more, like, I like him personally as a fighter more. Even though Ilya has more time to become a superstar, I do like Max as a fighter more, slightly, because Ilya does bring some scraps to it too. Like, Ilya's the best boxer in the UFC, so. Yeah, let me know what you think about my picks. Do not parlay my picks. I swear to God, I got this omen on me. Like, oh my God, like, my luck is not good with picks so far, so do not bet on them. Just keep them in mind. Let me know if you guys agree in the comments about my picks. Let me know what you disagree with and why. Let me know if you agree with me that there is a slight chance this card could be ruined by fight styles. we could get back to back to back grapple heavy fights. But let's pray that that doesn't happen. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss posts. It would really help out. I'm still trying to build this channel. I've had like 3 videos that haven't done that well, but hopefully this one booms because the title, baby. So yeah, show love to the channel. It's much appreciated. I post boxing, MMA, and influencer boxing content. So if you enjoyed that, you're going to love this channel. And thank you guys for listening to me yap like usual. Peace out.